This first week's video is going to show you the basics of the warm-up and the cool-down exercises. And for simplicity's sake, we're going to keep the warm-up and the cool-down the same for each week's module. So hopefully by the end of the year, the kids will get more familiar with the exercises and it'll run a lot more smoothly and more quickly for you. So we'll start with the warm-up. The very first thing is just a very simple run in place. So have the kids just pump their arms and move their legs like they're running. And then we switch to a high knee where you really encourage them to really kick those knees up really high. And then you'll switch to what we call butt kickers, which is pretty self-explanatory. They just kind of kick back towards their butt. And then we transition into high knees, but we call it horsey style, which basically just means you're bringing your legs more out to the side, like that. And then the last thing to finish off that little section is just quick feet. So you're just going to have them pretend like they're running as fast as they can and make it a game, make it fun for them. Tell them someone's chasing you, there's a dog after you, something like that to really get them just pumping away. So after we do that kind of run in place little section, we're going to go into just some classic jumping jacks. The normals are just start together and just come just like this. And then for the Nordic track style, it almost looks like you're kind of cross-country skiing a little bit. So you bring your hands forward. So instead of going to the side with your arms and legs, you're coming forward and backward with your arms and legs. So it looks kind of like this. It's just something to mix it up a little bit. And the last one is the hands behind your head. So you start with normal ones, and then have them stop their hands and keep their feet going, and then you have them get low into like a squat position. And this kind of starts to make your legs burn. And then have them come back up, and then that's it for that one. And the last part of the warm-up is kind of a little stretching session. So we're going to do one big stretch that's kind of involved, but it gets kind of everything with one fell swoop. So what you're going to have them do is do a normal lunge, and then put their right elbow down to their right ankle, and this stretches your hamstring. Then they'll go back and make a triangle with their legs, and that really gets your calf and your hamstring again. And then go back to a lunge, put your hands behind your head, and step through. Then you'll do it with the other leg. So you do a lunge, elbow to the inside of your heel, then make a triangle with your legs, then back to a lunge, hands behind your head, step through. And that's it for the warm-up. So for the cool-down, we're going to kind of go back to that running in place that we did for the warm-up. So just have them run kind of a little bit slower this time, just kind of cooling it down. You can alternate, throw in some butt kickers if you want, then back to normal. Just have them kind of work it down. And then we're going to move into some stretching. So the first one is just standing with their legs wide, and then just have them bend forward, and we're going to work on our hamstrings here. So they can kind of cradle their arms and just swing their arms and head back and forth and just kind of stretch out those hamstrings. And then what we're going to have them do to transition back up is called the elephant trunk swing. So they're going to pretend like their arms or their elbows are like an elephant's trunk, and they're just going to swing them back and forth as they kind of slowly come up out of that. It just kind of stretches out your arms, your chest, and your back, and just get everything nice and loose and cool. And then the last thing we're going to do is a partner quadricep stretch. So you're going to have them find a partner, and each kid is going to put their left hand on their partner's left shoulder, and then they'll help balance each other, and then they're going to stretch their right quad. So have them hold that for a while, and then have them switch sides. So then they're going to put their right hand on their partner's right shoulder. Partner's going to do the same. They'll balance each other, then they can stretch their left quad. And that's it for the cool down.